If you're also a paddler or an outdoors person and like to explore new places and see nature or city environments from new angles, or to challenge yourself, then this video might be of interest. It's actually from one of my personal paddling challenges back in September 2022, when I tried to accomplish a full marathon, 42 kilometers, that's 26 miles, in one day. By far the longest I had paddled in a day at that point. I've done something similar several times since, and my record now is 50 kilometers, but this 42 kilometers is still the longest I've ever paddled in an inflatable kayak. If you've already followed the previous parts of this video, then thank you for your interest, and if you haven't actually seen them before, then I'll leave a link here in case you want to start from the beginning. At this point, I'm just south of the central city of Stockholm, and by now I'm about to complete the final long stretch of this challenge. So let's dive right into it. I'm gonna check out this island while I'm here. It's not every day you paddle in this location. And in the inflatable meetup we're hoping to organize this weekend, inflatable and foldable kayaks, then depending on the wind and the weather we might be heading in this direction, so why not take the opportunity to scout ahead a little bit. And some reeds, my favorite, as we all know.
Lap 12, 9 minutes 20 seconds. Lap speed 6.4 kilometers. Total 2 hours 15 minutes 15 seconds.
Okay, and that's 28 kilometers total so far, a little bit more than that. So that means I'm now 2/3 through a full marathon. At this point, my arms aren't really that tired. I can't really complain about my back. My feet are unusually okay. I can feel this mostly in my legs, I think, but so far it's quite alright. Let's see how I feel in another 5 kilometers or so. Oh, it's a bird protection area, so no access between April 1st and July 31st. Now we're past that, so that's good to know. I'll see if I can go ashore here briefly. Take a break for a moment. Oh, there's a rock right there. Don't want to be going in that direction. boats. I didn't actually notice that this is also a hiking location. That's nice. This seems like an excellent time for an extremely healthy chocolate bar, Swedish Kexchoklad. And on this one it says hugs, so well, thank you, I guess. This stuff is actually pretty great to bring along on trips, just to cheer you up. And of course it's enormously healthy. I used to say, not only doesn't it have any calories, it has negative calories, you get calories back. Haha. Alright, time to head out for the final 14 kilometers. And off we go. And maybe turn the paddle to the right direction. Alright, so getting a bit of chocolate was really nice. So I have paddled at a relaxed pace, which was the intent, keeping around 6.5 kilometers per hour maybe on average. And then with breaks and checking different areas out and such, I'm now left with about 2 hours until sunset, if I'm not mistaken, and I have 14 kilometers left, so that should work nicely. I'll not complete the paddle before sunset, I don't think, but it shouldn't get all that dark for most of the stretch anyway. Not that I mind paddling in the dark actually, but at the end of a long paddle like this, safety-wise, it's good, I suppose, to be not too tired and out there in completely dark water. Anyway, let's see, here are some kayakers on the other side, I think. I think maybe these guys are gonna race, actually. Or they practice synchronized. Oh, right, that's 4 people in one. Alright, I won't be racing those guys anytime soon, especially not the 4 people in one combination. That's for sure. This bridge is kind of impressive, I must say. Still a really nice day. Look at this water. So to the right is Tantolunden, a big park where there are a lot of public gatherings and events. So this is kind of the watering hole of the southern part of Stockholm. This restaurant actually has palm trees, so which is kind of nice. I was here with a friend who was paddling a stand-up paddleboard, and I think we were considering jumping up and having something to eat. We ended up with something more convenient, but this is still a nice location. And to the right here is Hornstull in the Södermalm area, on the island of Södermalm. And I'm gonna go straight until the opening over there and then head right. And then I'm heading into Riddarfjärden and straight for City Hall. Then after that, it's basically a matter of getting back home by a kayak.
Lap 14, 9 minutes 6 seconds. Lap speed 6.5 kilometers per hour. Total 2 hours 41 minutes 32 seconds. 14 kilometers.
Okay, so that was the marker for now having paddled a bit more than 30 kilometers, which means that in all cases this trip is my personal best in any inflatable kayak in one day. And of course then also my record in this kayak, the Itiwit X500. So that's great. And with only 12 kilometers to go, it seems reasonable to assume that one should be able to make that happen. I'm feeling it a little bit in my arms, a bit in my legs, but you know, it's nothing to really complain about at this time. Let's see about how I feel in another 5-10 kilometers, or for that matter how I feel tomorrow. But so far it's going well. This is a really nice day on the water. I haven't really needed to consider using my other paddle yet. I think it's possible that I stick with the wing paddle for the duration of the 42 kilometer trip. So this on Reimersholm depicting a number of gigantic kegs is quite interesting. number of these monster paddle things on the left. Kayak for many people. Oftentimes you'll see a lot of very experienced paddlers here, and also a lot of paddlers in rental kayaks and on stand-up paddle boards. I did see a stand-up paddle board up there, but overall this location is really nice. We passed here a few days ago from the other direction with two friends in rental kayaks that I was showing around the city as it was their first city paddle. So this is actually kind of a nice location and hard to get tired of. And in front there is the island of Långholmen. There used to be a prison there. Rental place on the left. That's this location is actually where a few of us paddlers found a rental kayak that had escaped earlier this summer and brought it back. We're rescuing a kayak.
Yeah, we will see and record this rescue action.
And up ahead we have a couple of swans, I see. Let's see if they are friendly swans, not the ones hating kayaks. And here we have a lot of youngsters in kayaks. That's 31 kilometers, counting the 16 from before lunch. So 11 kilometers left. And that's essentially what I need to get home, so seems like a done deal if I don't get cramps or anything like that. And right now, I suppose I've completed about 3/4, 75% of my full marathon. So it's looking promising. Stockholm is enormously popular for kayaking, for tourists and for people who live here, and those rental kayaks that we just saw are everywhere on this stretch. It's really a really nice area to paddle. I'm now in Pålsundet, approaching Riddarfjärden, open water just ahead of the city hall. So very familiar locations. really in the center of the city now. Alright, received a phone call. Now I am at 33 kilometers. So I just actually have 9 kilometers left. That is kind of nice when you think about it. And I'm definitely at the furthest I've paddled so far in one day. I usually don't tend to try these long trips, but this has been a really nice day. And quite frankly, I feel like I could go on for quite a while still. The kilometers just keep adding up. So this is actually going really well. Today I'm having a nice paddle stance kind of for the Itiwit X500. The wing paddle I'm getting more and more used to. And the weather is still just awesome. Here on the open water there is a tiny bit of chop, tiniest of tiny, which is refreshing as a change of pace. But mostly this has been really mostly flat water and not a terrible amount of wind in any way, shape or form. So it's been really perfect for this paddle. And I did actually choose this day because it seemed like a calm day with good weather, might be one of the last before fall and really sets in. And it's also just a few days before I've had the Itiwit X500 for 1 full year. So this is my grand final moment for the year with the kayak, and it seems fitting to do a long paddle like that. At least for me, 42 kilometers is fairly extensive. But it's really not been difficult in any way. It's been really nice. Taking a few breaks, relax a bit here and there, but mostly I've just been paddling on. And the weather is really so nice that it's just a joy to be out here. I did put some music on briefly during the beginning of the trip where there wasn't much variation in the scenery, but after that I haven't really come back to it. It's simply been 2 good times out on the water. So this is a very nice paddle trip indeed. And up ahead there's a helicopter. And of course, to my left here is City Hall, Stockholm City Hall. which I seem to be passing by in kayak quite a lot these days. Not that I mind really. There's a Viking bus up on the bridge, very Stockholmish, and a kayak rental on the left.
Lap speed 6.4 kilometers per hour. Total 3 hours 32 minutes 31 seconds. Total 19 kilometers.
This, or a little bit further back, is where we had a duck jump up on one of the kayaks just the other day when I was paddling with new friends. So a few ducks come up to my kayak today as well, but at least they didn't jump up, they just stuck around waiting for me to provide some goodies of some sort, I suppose. Alright, so I soon have about 5 kilometers left only, and this is going really nicely. I thought I would be much more tired by now. Didn't really have the frame of reference because I haven't paddled this far before in one day. But obviously the very calm water helps. And well, now it's just a final stretch and some open water to see the sunset in a moment.
Lap speed 6.4 kilometers per hour. Total 3 hours 51 minutes. Total 21 kilometers.
Okay, come on, that's just gorgeous. That is a fantastic sunset. That's really a reward after a full day of paddling. Lots of very cool boats here. Pampas Marina is the area. And this is also familiar from a trip just a few days ago. But now I'm heading back to Sundbyberg and Bälstabro. And I basically just need to follow the shoreline to the right here. I have about 4.5 kilometers left to reach my full marathon goal. I might need to paddle a little bit further down the creek there to reach that, but essentially it matches up very nicely. So this has been a great day on the water. Really happy with this. And on the right side in this area there is also a kayak rental, of course. Turning on the Orbilock as it's getting a little bit darker now. Still bright though. This is a location, the restaurant is called Grodhavet, the frogs, the Sea of Frogs. And well, there's also fuel for boats, I suppose. But here last summer I did visit this place together with a friend of mine paddling stand-up paddleboard. So what we did was I had my Advanced Elements Advanced Friend ultralight, and we, during our paddle, basically just left the boards and the kayaks here and went in to have a delicious dinner. So that's a nice way to do it. Over there's actually the moon, so let me go and see if I can see that a little bit more clearly. You know, they think that the song lyrics go dancing in the moonlight, but of course the correct lyrics are kayaking in the moonlight, I suppose.
22. Total 22 kilometers.
So this will not be visible on the GoPro, but there on the horizon between the buildings is a slightly more than half moon. Kind of nice and very clear tonight. All right, that's it. This is the final stretch. Now for me to head back and to the landing location where I'll bring my kayak up on land and head home. Seems like the marathon is gonna be a reality. A little bit of a bird migration there on the left. Swimming over to new adventures. Meanwhile, I'm heading in this direction. This is not gonna show up on the GoPro, but this is a bit interesting because where the moon is, there are clouds covering the upper half. So essentially there's slightly more than a half moon horizontally, and there's slightly less than a half moon vertically. That's a bit unusual. Few kayaks here on the right, on land. And this is quite the ship over here.
Nine minutes 50 seconds. Lap speed 6.0 kilometers per hour. Total 4 hours 13 minutes 45 seconds. Total 23 kilometers.
All right, up ahead is the final stretch. The canal there is a direct path to the location where I intend to take my kayak on shore. And I have about 2.5 kilometers to go still to complete the 42 kilometers and a little bit more. It's now 8 p.m. and at this time in the evening it's really quiet and calm over here. And the plane taking off from Bromma Airport. Another plane taking off. And straight ahead is a shopping center. On the right side of the canal is Sunderberg.
9 minutes 33 seconds. Lap speed 6.2 kilometers per hour. Total 4 hours 23 minutes 19 seconds. Total 24 kilometers.
Alright, it's 12 degrees. Slightly chilly, but actually really nice. And it's now just past 8. And I am paddling the last few kilometers here until I have completed the marathon with a little bit of margin. I'm adding like a half kilometer extra. This is an industrial area, kind of, in part, and residential. I'm not sure that the area right here by the water is all that beautiful, well, with the buildings and factory elements and such, but the evening itself is really, really nice. Beautiful sky, very calm, water is completely flat, a mild breeze that cools nicely for a paddler who's been out all day. It's really been very nice. I think I started a little bit less than 9 hours ago, and I've taken my time, no stress. A lunch break, a few breaks along the way. This last stretch I've just paddled non-stop for a long time now, not really needing to stop. Anyway, it's been a really great experience, this paddle, and much less difficult than I thought it would be. I think my legs are gonna feel a bit shaky when I get on land, but my arms are not really an issue. My back, my feet are fine. I think my legs feel like I've been paddling all day, but I really am not feeling that this is all that tough at this moment. I'm gonna feel it tomorrow, I'm sure. But this was easier than I thought it would be. If I had to, and if I felt like I had the time and inclination, I could probably paddle another 8 kilometers and make it an even 50. But I have aimed to make this an even marathon, and I'm gonna try to do this as close as possible with, you know, within 1 kilometer margin if I can. Here's a boat called Dancing Queen, very ABBA, very Swedish. And now it's just the final stretch until I'm allowed to go on shore. Yet another plane taking off. Let's take a look.
Lap 25. 10 minutes 31 seconds. Lap speed 5.7 kilometers per hour. Total 4 hours 33 minutes 51 seconds. Total 25 kilometers.
And that actually means I only have 1 kilometer left to go. After which point I'm supposed to be in Bellstabro, Sundbyberg, which essentially I actually am. So I'm gonna paddle the last stretch here, 10 minutes or so, and then I am done and really happy. Gets rewarded here by bird swarms. I'm not really sure how visible this is on camera, but that's a lot of birds. Okay, so in case my GoPro battery dies, seems close, then this is actually the location where I'm gonna land. I still have, because I want a little bit of margin, about 800 meters left to paddle. So I'm gonna go up and down the creek here a little bit, which was my original plan actually, to get up to the proper amount of kilometers. So more or less the plan worked out really nicely, even if I varied a bit along the way. So this has been a really awesome paddle. All right, a few hundred meters more, and then I am done for the day. Okay, so this is Bellstabro Bridge, and since I'm getting home from a completely different location than I started from, I'm actually heading home by public transport, and this is really where I wanna be. I really like the lights effects on this bridge. This, incidentally, was where I had my first paddle with the Itiwit X500. The first tour, also in light conditions like this, together with a friend who's a SUP paddler, paddleboarder. So this is a great completion of the first year with the Itiwit X500. 42 kilometers paddled. I've actually completed it now already. I'm adding maybe 400 meters more for margin, but I have completed the marathon, and this has been an amazing experience. Really a great day. Gotta love that. Really happy I purchased this kayak and all the other kayaks, even if I have too many by now. Alright, turning around for the final spin. Actually found a location which is closer than the one I usually use to get up here or down into the water. This is my landing spot.
Total 4 hours 46 minutes 26 seconds. Total 26 kilometers. Heart rate 138 beats per minute.
And that is the final confirmation that without doubt I have completed 42 kilometers, 26 plus the 16 before lunch, and a little bit of margin on top of that. All right, this is one really happy paddler right here in Bellstabro in Sundbyberg, Stockholm, Sweden. 42 kilometers in one day. definitely a personal record for one day, and a really fantastic day out on the water. Of course, with the usual ice cream, ducks, and reeds to paddle through, and I don't know what. Lots of new places I haven't seen before, and a really great time on the water. So thank you again for your interest and support, and for watching. I wish you happy and safe paddles out there, and all the best. Take care, stay safe, enjoy your kayaking.